Nice to be talking about hockey again. Well, Alex Lyon, our expected #1 goaltender here in the Lehigh Valley, got the start for the Flyers last night, making 31 saves in their 5-1 preseason win over Boston. We'll be sure to see him at some point this weekend. Well, recently we got a taste of some hockey at the PPL Center as the Philadelphia Flyers took on the New York Islanders here in Allentown. Well, now it's finally the Phantoms' turn as they began training camp this week. Tonight they get a taste of the newly realigned division as the Charlotte Checkers come to town for 2 preseason tilts. Christy Fulkerson and Doug Heater have more on tonight's matchup from the PPL Center. Newly promoted Scott Kingery made a heck of a catch in the second inning that even cracked the Sports Center top 10 for today. Obviously, a huge addition to this Iron Pigs roster is the activation of Zach Eflin off the disabled list, now putting himself at the top of the scoring race for not only the team with 15 points throughout 12 games, but for all rookies in the ECHL. Central and Emmaus, I'm sending you my bill for anxiety pills because I was stressing last night. I felt like they were one of my kids. It was very stressful. All right, anyways, Allentown Central Catholic continues their reign in the East Penn Conference, having only given up 5 sets in their 10-game undefeated season. The Vikettes now take on Emmaus, who has only 1 loss to Liberty on their record, and a little something in common with Central. Both of these teams beat Parkland. So how would they match up against each other? Well, this match wasn't for the faint of heart, I'll tell you that. The drama will come later, but for now, the Vikings look to have this first set under control, coming out to a 14-8 lead. Ava Grapsey with the kill. Don't count those Hornets out just yet. They slowly come within range. 19-16, Adelina Rivera-Woolard. Power in the kill. Central keeping the edge. Small edge, but an edge nonetheless. It takes set 1, 25-20. The Rail Riders announced their projected 25-man opening day roster on Tuesday, and there's an apparent youth movement going through this Yankees organization. Leading the way are top prospects such as Clint Frazier, Dustin Fowler, and of course your opening day starter, Jordan Montgomery. The Fightin' Phils now have 2 players with 30 home runs or more for the first time in their 50-year history. That, of course, comes with a huge night from Dylan Cousins, who knocked 3 out of the park here at First Energy Stadium for his 30th career home run. Come see what's described as walking through a stained glass window. This structure is open all throughout Music Fest from noon to 10 p.m. Now, don't forget to take your shoes off. It is wheelchair accessible and costs $5 worth of food and drink tickets. Thank you, guys. Yes, the accolades keep coming in for the Fightin' Phils this morning. The Phillies announced the Paul Owens Award recipients. That goes to the top minor league position player and pitcher of the year. Not only is this the only camp offered for rowers in the Lehigh Valley, at the very end of the 3 days, the campers get a very special treat, getting to participate in the Philly Youth Regatta. They actually get to race on the Schuylkill River at Boathouse Row.
So it was operating for 120 years, and it just closed down in 1995, November 18th. So the city didn't. Yeah.
Bethlehem Steel FC went back to school to learn some history about the city they now call home.
Is it correct that a lot of these workers were immigrant workers who came over to work for the steel?
Boluak and Yode, James Chambers, Josh Hurd, and Samir Bader got a taste of downtown Bethlehem's biggest attraction.
All of the men in the community pretty much worked at the steel mill, or they were overseas at war.
Formed in 1904, the Bethlehem Steel Corporation served as the economic lifeline of the community, producing the steel that built our nation's most impressive structures.
So the steel from the Golden Gate Bridge was actually made here. And if you see the orange color over there, they use the same color, so that's the same color as the Golden Gate Bridge as well. They would make probably 2,600 to 3,000 tons of iron per day. So yeah, there's a lot of history in Bethlehem, and obviously the entire history of your team is based.
We are here because of this thing right here,
exactly.
Right?
Was soccer the only sport played here by the steelworkers?
No, the steelworkers, they had a baseball team as well. So they played baseball, played soccer, they played a bunch of sports to kind of pass the time when they weren't here, which pretty much their entire life they were here.
After 120 years in operation, Bethlehem Steel saw its last day. And rather than demolish the historic mill, the community rallied together to bring it new life.
They could have just tore it down, but instead Arts West came in and made it into kind of this music and arts center for Bethlehem. So they hold World Cup watch parties, there's a movie theater inside, so they really turned it into more of a tourist attraction.
I watched the Men's World Cup, US-Germany, and then I watched the women's final here. Actually, it was awesome. But I didn't get to learn as much about the history as I am today.
They also learn the history of their own team, more specifically their logo, centered around Henry Gray's Bethlehem beam, which revolutionized the age of skyscrapers and accounted for the mill's success.
Strong like James right here, right?
Strong like Bethlehem steel, which is why they put it in their logo.
Well, they don't call it Baseball Town USA for nothing now, especially with the new addition of Rip-It batting cages and baseball skill training. Now with 4 automated machine cages and 2 brand new turf coach cages, it's exactly what Reading needs to create the baseball stars of tomorrow.
You know, it's been ongoing for about a year now, and we just couldn't be more excited about the facility and having the opportunity to get as many kids through here as we can, and it's all going to be great stuff.
I think it's great. Everybody that's involved in the ownership here, Eric and Spadali and Shrinky, I think that it's going to be a great facility. Obviously, Scott does things first class, Chuck Domino. So I think it's exciting for the community. It's a great spot for it. It's a neat thing to have in the community. I think it's needed and well deserved.
Well, Spadali and his crew pulled out all the stops on Saturday morning, bringing in some of the Fightin's favorite alums, along with Wath and Cam Perkins, Adam Morgan, Hobie Milner, Aaron Nola, and even Reese Hoskins made the trip back to Baseball Town to show their support.
It was absolutely awesome having those guys here. That doesn't happen every day, that you get a crew like that to come in that are current Major League Baseball players on a day when they have a game later that night. Having them here was definitely a special thing.
It just shows how great Reading was to us. Scott did a great job when we were here, and I think it's the least that we can do coming back and showing some support.
Tips on hitting like you?
Puts things in perspective. I was once these little kids running around, with my bat, trying to hit as much as I can, or playing catch in the front yard. So it's fun. It puts a smile on my face, and to see the joy that they have doing what I like to do as well is pretty cool for baseball.
It's seeing the success of guys who came through Reading, like Ryan Howard and most recently Reese Hoskins, that keeps the spirit of baseball alive in this community. It all starts with picking up a bat and taking a swing. As for me, I think I'll stick to my day job.
Reading, PA is Baseball Town USA. Kids love the game here and want to play, and I think what this place will provide is a place where a kid of any age, any size, can come in here and play the game. Of course, try to hone their craft a little bit, but at the same time, probably more importantly, have fun.
It's fun. It wasn't too long ago that I was here as a player. And it's Baseball Town for a reason, right? And, a facility like this for kids to come to is pretty special. I wish I had this as a kid. With having those current major leaguers and some serious baseball players come down here, give their time for kids and people of the Reading community, it's just been awesome. And I think it does inspire kids to play more baseball and be the best baseball player they can be.